In politics, power usually gets all the attention. But what about wealth? We're not just talking about fancy cars or posh houses. We're talking billions. In this video, we're counting down the 10 richest politicians in the Philippines in 2025. These aren't just public servants. They're tycoons, business moguls, and heirs to dynasties that stretch across industries and generations. Some made their fortunes before politics. Others built wealth because of politics. A few are surprisingly low profile, yet unbelievably loaded. So who are they? How did they earn or inherit their riches? And just how much are they really worth? Hello and welcome back to my channel, Fun Fact. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a deep dive like this one. You're about to see just how powerful wealth in politics can get. Sadly, most of our politicians don't make it a habit to update or publicly declare their net worth. So we've done the math ourselves to estimate their real 2025 fortunes. Let's find out. This is the 10 richest politicians in the Philippines, 2025. Number 10 is Julio Leesma IV. Julio Leesma IV served as a representative of Negros Occidental's 1st District for multiple terms, establishing himself as a seasoned political figure with deep roots in both governance and business. Known for his quiet yet enduring influence in local politics, Leesma also comes from an affluent family in Negros with long-standing economic and political ties. Although he has stepped back from national limelight in recent years, his wealth and legacy continue to make waves behind the scenes. Back in 2015, Leesma declared a net worth of 1 billion pesos. And since then, he's kept things low-key. No updates, no headlines, just silence. But make no mistake, his fortune hasn't been sitting idle. Leesma hails from one of Negros Occidental's most powerful clans, with interests in sugar, land, and local enterprises that have been quietly thriving. Given the typical performance of wealth in sectors like agriculture, land ownership, and passive investments, it's reasonable to project an average annual growth rate of about 6%. So we did the math. After a decade of quiet compounding, Julio Leesma IV's estimated net worth in 2025 would now be a solid 1.8 billion pesos, still putting him among the richest political figures in the country. Next, we have a tie at number 8. Two politicians who share not just influence, but also nearly identical net worths. That means there's no 9th place on this list. Tie at number 8 is Emiline Villar. Emiline is a former congresswoman who represented the DIWA party list and later served as Undersecretary and Acting Secretary of the Department of Justice under the Duterte administration. She's also a staunch advocate for women's rights and persons with disabilities. But beyond her credentials, Emiline is best known for being married to Senator Mark Villar, the son of the Philippines' richest man, former Senate President Manny Villar. That marriage alone places her within the orbit of staggering wealth and political power. In 2017, Aglipay declared a net worth of 1.4 billion pesos, making her one of the richest female politicians at the time. But since then, radio silence. No updates, no disclosures. Here's the thing, Emiline isn't just wealthy on her own. Marrying into the Villar dynasty changed the game. The family controls a vast empire in real estate, retail, and banking. Even without running the day-to-day, being part of the family means access to shared investments, expanding assets, and rapidly compounding wealth, on top of her own income from law, politics, and consulting. So how fast could that fortune be growing? In dynasties like the Villars, where wealth is aggressively reinvested, growth often outpaces normal expectations. Case in point, Manny Villar grew his net worth from $5.6 billion in 2018 to $17.2 billion in 2025, according to Forbes, an annual growth rate of around 17.4%. Apply that same rate to Emiline's last known net worth of 1.4 billion pesos in 2017, and her 2025 fortune likely stands at around 4.31 billion pesos. Also tied at number 8 is Mark Villar. Mark is a sitting senator. Before his election to the Senate in 2022, he served as Secretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways under President Duterte, where he led the ambitious Build, Build, Build program. As one of the 3 children of billionaire Manny Villar, Mark is not just a public official, he's an heir to a sprawling empire that spans real estate, retail, and banking. Using the same 17.4% annual growth rate based on his father's financial trajectory, Mark Villar's net worth in 2025 is estimated at around 4.31 billion pesos. Number 7 is Mikey Romero. Mikey Romero is a veteran lawmaker currently serving as a congressman under the One-Pacman party list. He also held the powerful post of Deputy Speaker during the 18th Congress. In 2020, Romero declared a net worth of 6.5 billion pesos. But since then, no updates, no declarations, nothing. So where is his wealth now? Romero is no ordinary public servant. He's a business juggernaut. He chairs Global Port 900 in Key and holds large stakes in port operations, logistics firms, real estate, and even AirAsia Philippines. These are not stagnant businesses. They're cash machines that have grown alongside the Philippine economy. His port terminals handle massive cargo volumes. His properties have appreciated in value, and his airline investment is rebounding in a post-pandemic travel boom. For businessmen in these sectors, a 6% yearly increase in net worth is typical. No flashy headlines, no public bragging, but if you run the numbers, they speak for themselves. By 2025, Mikey Romero's estimated net worth is a staggering 8.7 billion pesos. Number 6 is Ferdinand Martin Gomez Romualdez. Martin Romualdez is the current Speaker of the House of Representatives and a first cousin of President Bong Marcos Jr. He's been the congressman of Leyte's 1st District for many years, and during his time in office, he helped pass several major laws. But his political rise hasn't been without controversy. In early 2025, he and other House leaders were accused of tampering with the national budget, falsifying documents and adding unauthorized projects worth 241 billion pesos. A criminal and graft complaint was filed at the Office of the Ombudsman. On top of that, he was linked to the political drama involving Vice President Sara Duterte, playing a big role in the impeachment case against her, possibly to clear the path for his own run for president in 2028. Now let's talk about his wealth. Back in 2015, Romualdez declared his net worth at 475 million pesos. But after that, he stopped reporting it. Then, in 2023, headlines exploded. He donated a jaw-dropping 112 million pesos to Harvard University. That's not something most rich people, even billionaires, just casually do. So people started asking, how rich is this guy really? Experts from the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy at Indiana University, which researches charitable giving, say that wealthy people only donate around 1% of their total wealth. So if Romualdez gave 112 million pesos to Harvard, That means his estimated wealth is not lower than 11.2 billion pesos. And now we're unveiling the wealthiest of them all, the top 5 richest politicians in the Philippines. Taking the number 5 spot is none other than Ramon Giko Jr. Ramon Giko Jr. is a seasoned politician currently serving as a representative of Pangasinan's 5th District in the House of Representatives. He is the president of the League of Municipalities of the Philippines. Known for his humility and clean track record, Giko has never been involved in any corruption scandals and remains deeply adored by his constituents. Beyond politics, Ramon Giko Jr. is a savvy businessman with a diverse and thriving portfolio. He heads the World City Group, which includes World City Medical Center in Quezon City, World City Colleges with 4 campuses across Luzon, and World City Aeronautical and Technological College, a renowned flying school for pilots and aviation engineers. In addition to education and healthcare, Giko also owns a profitable construction business responsible for key infrastructure projects in Luzon, including the development of multi-classroom school buildings that support local communities. Despite his massive business empire, Giko keeps a low profile, focusing on service rather than spotlight. His clean political record, combined with his business success, has quietly built him a net worth estimated at 15 billion pesos as of 2025. At number 4 is Antonio Albi Bonitz. Albi Bonitz is the current mayor of Bacolod City and is set to return to Congress in 2025. Before politics, he built a fortune through Bright Light Productions, Media Ventures, and Philippine Gaming Management Corporation, PGMC, which supplies gaming systems to the PCSO. His wealth comes mainly from gaming, real estate, and broadcasting. Known for his low-key, pragmatic style, Bonitz has avoided controversy until recently. His legal wife filed for annulment, accusing him of womanizing and psychological abuse. She is also linked romantically to social influencer Ivana Alawi, sparking public attention. In May 2025, Bonitz declared a net worth of 18.83 billion pesos. Moving on. The 3rd richest politician in the Philippines in 2025 is Antonio Ernesto Anton Florendo Lacto Jr. Anton Lacto is far more than just a public official. He currently serves as special assistant to the president and is one of Bong Marcos's most trusted advisors. A longtime friend and top campaign strategist, he operates quietly behind the scenes, but wields serious influence within Malacanang. Born into the powerful Florendo dynasty of Mindanao, Lacto's wealth comes from old money. His family controls the Anflo group of companies, which owns vast banana plantations and major holdings across various industries. Private jets, generational wealth, and zero tabloid noise. He embodies the quiet billionaire lifestyle. In 2022, Lacto made waves with a staggering 247.23 million peso donation to the Marcos campaign, the biggest individual political contribution that year. As mentioned earlier with Martin Romualdez, a global study by Indiana University's Lilly Family School of Philanthropy shows that ultra-wealthy donors typically give around 1% of their net worth to campaigns. If we apply that same conservative estimate, Lacto's donation hints at a massive fortune. As of 2025, Antonio Lacto Jr.'s estimated net worth stands at 24.7 billion pesos. And now coming in at number 2 is none other than the man who doesn't just lead the nation, he inherited it. President Ferdinand Bong Marcos Jr. Born into one of the most controversial political dynasties in the world, Bong Marcos is the only son of former dictator Ferdinand Marcos Sr. and former First Lady Imelda Marcos. As of 2025, he sits as the President of the Republic and is widely seen as the custodian of a legendary and heavily scrutinized family fortune. Now let's talk wealth. On paper, Bong Marcos' declared SAL-N in 2013 showed a modest 442 million pesos. However, the Marcos family had already been living in Forbes Park in Makati, where the average property price is around 1.5 billion pesos, before moving into Malacañang Palace in 2022. The Marcos family has been linked to billions in alleged ill-gotten wealth, hidden in Swiss bank accounts, U.S. real estate, dummy corporations, and secret funds. The Philippine government has recovered over 170 billion pesos in assets so far, and that's just the beginning. Multiple reputable sources, including Bloomberg and Rappler, estimate the Marcos fortune at 10 billion to 13 billion US dollars. Now that Bong Marcos is back in full control of Malacañang, much of that wealth remains secure, untouched, and possibly still growing. So how much does Bong really have? Let's be conservative and say he has access to just 10% of that fortune. That put his realistic 2025 net worth at around 56 billion pesos. And topping our list, the richest politician in the Philippines in 2025 is none other than Cynthia Villar. Cynthia Villar isn't just a senator, she's the matriarch of one of the most powerful business dynasties in the country. Behind Vista Land, All Home, Golden Haven, and more. For decades, she's been a central figure in Philippine real estate, politics, and public service. Now let's talk serious money. Her husband, former Senate President Manny Villar, is officially listed by Forbes as the richest Filipino in 2025, with a jaw-dropping net worth of $17.2 billion. That's roughly 984 billion pesos. Under Philippine law, married couples without a prenuptial agreement share assets equally. And in the Villars case, it's not just a legal technicality, it's business reality. Cynthia Villar has been actively involved in their empire since day one. She's not just the spouse, she's a co-founder. So what's her fair share? 984 billion pesos divided by 2 equals 492 billion pesos. Estimated net worth in 2025, 492 billion pesos. That officially makes Cynthia Villar the wealthiest politician in the Philippines today by a wide margin. No need for SALN tricks, inheritance guesses, or speculative math. The numbers speak for themselves. From inherited fortunes to quiet empires built behind closed doors, these are the billionaires shaping the Philippines, not just with laws, but with deep pockets and deeper influence. Some keep a low profile, others own the spotlight. But in 2025, one thing's certain: wealth and politics are more entangled than ever. You're watching Fun Fact. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the money behind political power, like, subscribe, and share. Now we want to hear from you. Do these billion peso fortunes raise red flags? Or are they just the price of success in Philippine politics? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read them all. This was the 10 richest politicians in the Philippines, 2025. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay informed, and as always, stay curious.